Hello everybody, it's Brian here. I'm so terribly sorry about my voice if it still sounds too deep or whatever. I'm sick. I have a little bit of a cold. It seems to be getting worse, and as of right now, I do not have any medicine in my house, so I need to go out tomorrow and get some, or I'm gonna have to schedule a doctor's appointment to get some because, oh my god, it's horrible. I hate being sick, especially when you're fat and sick. It really sucks. But despite being sick, I was able to go out with my friends the other night and see the movie Wonka. Um, you know, wasn't a bad movie. Wasn't a great movie. Wasn't a bad movie. Um, Definitely, I would recommend the movie for if you have little children, like somewhere in the age of like maybe 5 to 8, like or probably like 4 to 8 years old, maybe even 3 years old. A lot of singing in it. Kind of musical. Kind of like it kind of reminded me of the movie. Actually, I'm going to probably review this movie next, because it reminded me of it, of the movie Ernest. Ernest Saves Christmas. There's a bunch of Ernest movies. But yeah, the Willy Wonka in this has a very earnest personality. So do a lot of other characters. It's a very good movie. Well, it's nothing. Well, I'll explain that towards the end. So I want to get right into the review. So as always, if you want to see the movie Wonka and you don't want nothing to be spoiled, spoiler alert is in effect. So once again, want to see the movie Wonka, want not to be spoiled, X out of this video right now. Otherwise, let's get right into it, everybody. So the movie starts out with initially the so the movie starts out with a ship coming in, and it's Willy Wonka. He's singing. It's the Timothée Chalamet, Willy Wonka. It's young. I'm pretty sure in this version it doesn't explain exactly, but I'm pretty sure this version is intending to be Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. I did see things online months ago where it said it would talk about Johnny Depp, but from watching the movie, it seems a lot more like Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka. Dresses a lot more like him too. But yeah, the movie starts out with him on a ship singing. He's in London or France. It doesn't actually explain where, but I'm pretty sure it's London. They sound British. He gets off the thing. He gets off the ship, singing. He's giving out all his coins. There's one that charged him a shilling for his shoes to be washed. There's one that charged him, the cop charged him 3 for him daydreaming, and a bunch of others. Then he was very nice and gave one away to a woman that had a baby, so she could have a room to sleep in for the night. Then he was sitting there making tea, or hot chocolate, I should say, on a bench, singing a song. Very friendly guy in this. And then this other guy, this real tall, ugly-looking guy, I don't want to call people ugly, but yeah, comes to him and goes, "Oh, I hope you're not sleeping down here tonight. You're gonna freeze." And he says, "Don't be ridiculous." Well, he pulls his hot chocolate out. It's frozen like a water ice. So the guy says, "I know a place where you can go." He goes to this place. There's this lady, and the guy apparently works there. He thought they were husband and wife, but they weren't. They started laughing. So what ends up happening is she says, "I can give you this." But there's a little girl there named Noodle, and she says, "Read the fine print." Well, they click lock the thing. He pulls out the thing, reads it. Well, turns out he can't read, so we'll find that out later in the movie. He signs it. So what ends up happening is he goes out the next day to make the money that he owes. He says that he'll do that. She needs it by 6 p.m. tomorrow. So he goes out and makes it. He goes out and tries to make it. Well, he doesn't. Slugworth, it gets introduced. So do the other candy companies that were in the book. I kind of like that. But it was it was kind of weird because I always thought in the original story that Slugworth was a competitor. Now I'm not gonna spoil this right now. I'll get into that later. But yeah, it says Slugworth is there's these 3 chocolate companies, and chocolate is only for the rich and the elite and the privileged. Everyday people and poor people and middle class people do not get chocolate. If they do, it's very rarely, and they're bankrupting themselves to get it. So yeah, so he ends up coming back with no money. So she says, "Read the fine print," and that he owes her over 10,000. I say dollars. It was something else. I can't remember the name of the word. Ends up owing her around $10,000, which is 27 years of work. So she sends it down to the basement. And there's other people. There was a guy that was an accountant that owed them money, a girl that worked for the phone service that owed them money, another girl that was a biker, not a biker, I believe. I can't remember what her role is. I just watched this on Friday, but I have a shitty memory. That's what being fat and drinking soda does to you. Yeah, but there are all these people down there. Noodle, of course, is down there. They're doing their wash and stuff, and they just go down there. Well, he builds an invention where the dog's there, really gonna hit him, and Noodle can escape. During the day, Noodle can get him out. Oh, and they come with this whole thing about how he leaves a letter for her about how attractive, or she leaves a letter for him about how attractive he is, and then he leaves a thing saying that he's related to Duke or some lord or something like that. Not Willy Wonka, the two people that own the place. Gets him distracted. Wonka and Noodle are able to get out. He's able to go try to make some chocolate and sell it. Well, it doesn't work out like it was supposed to, because he goes out. Oh, and what happens? Well, somebody stole his chocolate, and this is when he first talks about the Oompa Loompa, the orange man with green hair and short, who comes in and steals his chocolate all the time, or his candy. So then he has to go giraffe's milk. That was interesting. I don't know if I want to drink giraffe's or eat giraffe's milk and chocolate bar, but he has to get giraffe's milk. He makes more chocolate for Noodle like he did the night before. And they end up going out. They all end up sneaking out, trying to sell chocolate. He sings this whole song montage. In the meantime, Slugworth is worried because he sees him doing this. So the cop, chief of police, they pay him off. Mr. Bean is in this as a corrupt priest or reverend or whatever. So what ends up happening is he pays the cop. The cop basically drowns him and says to him, you're gonna stop selling chocolate in the city. You're not gonna be a thing. Very corrupt chief of police, as the corporate leader are worried about him. So he has to sneak and do it. Another song montage. So then the three men end up coming to him, Slugworth and the other two candy companies, and say, we'll pay for all your friends and Noodle to be released, but you have to promise one thing and one thing only, that you will leave even you will never come back, and that you will vow to never make chocolate again. So he does do that, and meanwhile, before this happens, catches the Oompa Loompa. The Oompa Loompa sings a song to him. It's a very good song. Hugh Grant actually sung very good in it. Sings a song about how he came to the island and he stole the thing, and Hugh Grant was the Oompa Loompa guarding the cocoa beans, and he steals them, so he got kicked off the island of Oompa Loompas. Loompa Land, I guess they're still calling it. And then it's back to the Slugworth part, and so he takes the deal. He gives all the money to them. He leaves the boat. The Oompa Loompa comes there and is in his thing, and is sleeping like a real fancy guy. So what ends up happening is the ship ends up blowing up because the Oompa Loompa and Willy Wonka are able to escape. Well, the next day they're paid, so all the people get released, but he actually paid him more money for Noodle to stay, because it turns out Noodle was related to Slugworth. So sorry, that's a loud, bratty cousin in the background. So what ends up happening is in the movie, next in the movie I should say, is they go back to try to break into the records. He meets with all the people. Well, they get down there. They're able to distract their way in. Well, Slugworth and them end up catching him. They push him in the thing. After revealing it's official that she is his niece, that his brother, her father, Noodle's dad, died, and her mom brought her there to see if he'd help her, and well, he just left her with the place. So what ends up happening is they end up getting locked in this thing of chocolate. By the way, meanwhile, there was they had a candy shop, and it didn't go well because it was all poison. I forgot to mention that. And as all this is happening, the chief of police has gained massive amounts of weight. Actually says that he gained 150 pounds in the past week. But back to where we were in the story, they end up getting locked in this vault of chocolate, drowned in chocolate. Yeah, it's real nice. They were going to kill him. It's the second time Slugworth and them tried killing him. First was with the dynamite, and then on the ship, and then the second time was the drowning of the chocolate. Isn't that horrible? I don't know if Roald Dahl would approve of that. But yeah. So what ends up happening is they end up talking about the Oompa Loompa. The Oompa Loompa, who had a deal with him, ends up finding out that they ate the chocolate. Well, he gets in there, he releases the water or the chocolate. They're able to escape. He ends up going out with all the documents and reveals what Slugworth and them are doing. The chief of police tries stopping him because he's corrupt. And by this time, the chief of police has gained 300 or 400 pounds. He went from being a 180-pound man to a 560-pound man. Literally huge. Gained a crap ton of weight. So he ends up getting arrested. Chief of police ends up getting arrested. Same with all the three candy makers. And what ends up happening is Willy Wonka ends up releasing all the chocolate. It's because they say, oh, we'll get good lawyers. So he releases all the chocolate. People get freed. And by the way, I just want to mention this. There was this one character, and I'm sure other people are going to be saying it. My one friend brought it up in the theater, and I noticed it too a lot. They made this one character look like Hitler. I don't know if that was supposed to be some sort of joke of some sort, or if that was supposed to be maybe just a mistake, but The guy had a little mustache and he looked just like Hitler. Like, I know that's horrible, but I mean, this is a children's movie. Not that anybody. I bet most children wouldn't even understand it, but still, I don't know if that was some sort of joke or whatever, or if that was just. I don't know what the intentions were of that, but I did want to point that out. I'm sure you have people saying, "Oh, cancel the movie because that." I don't think you should cancel the movie, but I did notice that. But yeah, not that that matters, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's kind of weird. But my friend pointed that out. I wanted to bring that up. So what happens next in the movie is he starts singing "Pure Imagination." All the chocolate says to Oompa Loompa, "I could use someone in my factory." Well, everyone gets to go back. He goes to his factory, singing a song. It's an old castle, rundown castle, and you can see that he's starting to make the chocolate river and all that, like in the original movie. And then it ends. Oompa Loompa singing the song. Everyone gets to go back to their families. Noodle went with her mom. The guy went back with his wife. Other guy, the comedian, went back with his wife. And they all live happily ever after. And that's the end of the movie. This movie, I did not go into it with high expectations. Because like I said before, you can get the best actors and actresses. You can have the best storyline, the best script, the best director, the best producers, the highest possible budget. You can have $1 billion to make it. Best special effects, best CGI, all that. Best costumes, all that. And it's never going to hold a candle to the original 1971 Gene Wilder version. Which it didn't, just like the Johnny Depp one didn't. Because they did it with the Johnny Depp one. They spent like, $300 million on it. An amazing actor like Johnny Depp, amazing director like Tim Burton, a bunch of other amazing actors. Great special effects, all that. And it came nowhere close to the original. But this one did the same thing. I would say that there were certain elements of this movie. None of this movie outdid the original. There were certain elements of this movie that was better than the Johnny Depp version, but then there were certain elements that weren't. This movie, I would recommend it, like I said in the beginning of the video. If you have a child that's like 3 to 9 years old, I'd recommend this movie. It's a music, or if you like musicals, I'd recommend this movie. It's a musical. It's even more of a musical than the original one was. It's very kiddish. You can tell it's very much a children's movie. It was much more of a children's movie than the Johnny Depp one was. It's actually the most children's movie out of all three that there have been. But yeah, it's very, very childish and stuff. It's not a bad movie. It's like a movie that I'm not going to say, like, oh, this movie was a 1 out of 10, and this movie had this and this and this. No, it was, I would probably give it, depending on what we're talking about, on a general level, I'd give this movie a 5 out of 10. It's not perfect. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I don't think that I would watch again. You know, if I was babysitting, or if I had kids, or if I was a teacher at a school, I would definitely play this movie. And like if it was like what I said about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, if this movie was on, I would scrolling through cable channels, I'd finish watching it. But I don't know if I sitting by myself or sitting with my friends, if I would just purposely watch this movie. But you know, Timothée Chalamet did not do a horrible job. Neither did Hugh Grant. But there were a lot of loopholes in this movie that didn't make sense if it was trying to be an actual prequel to the original one. For example, Slugworth got arrested for trying to kill him. In the book and in the movie, it says nothing about that. All it says is Slugworth is a competition. It was sending spies in there. And then he has the Oompa Loompa there. That didn't make sense in the factory because the Oompa Loompa comes afterwards because he found them on an island. Because he had employees that he fired first and shut down the factory. It didn't make sense, but oh well. I don't think it was trying to. I think it was trying to be its own thing. I do think this movie is going to be a financial success. Not because it's like a blockbuster movie, simply because I think there's a lot of people curious to watch this movie. There's actually a lot of older people in the theater when we went, because, you know, a lot of people grew up on Willy Wonka. I grew up watching both Willy Wonka movies and liked them both. I love the Gene Wilder version. I don't like the Johnny Depp version as much, but I still like it both. I like this version, too. It was pretty decent, but, a lot of loopholes and stuff, and I do think, I swear, and just for this reason, I'm going to be reviewing Ernest Saves Christmas next, since we're reviewing Christmas movies. This guy, Timothée Chalamet, he had to have literally watched the Ernest movies, because that is exactly what his character reminds me of. Maybe Ernest, and I'm trying to think of another character that he maybe reminds me of. Maybe like he's a little bit heroic, like Will from Pirates of the Caribbean, but he's definitely he's got that childish and funny behavior, just like Ernest. So actually tune in tomorrow. Either tonight or tomorrow I'm going to review Ernest Saves Christmas. But yeah, he's got a very earnest. I swear he binge watched all the movies and the old commercials that Ernest was on and sort of copied all that. But yeah, I'd say a 5 out of 10. I would write, if you want to watch it, watch it. It's Wonka, it's Willy Wonka. I don't know if I don't think Roald Dahl, the original author of Willy Wonka, I don't think he'd like it. I don't think he would have liked the Johnny Depp version either, because he hated the Gene Wilder version. I think that out of all three, he probably would have liked the Johnny Depp version the most, because it was the most like his book. But I don't think he would have liked any of them because they strayed away from each of his book too much. But I also don't think Gene Wilder probably would have been a fan of it. Gene Wilder was not a fan of the Johnny Depp one, and we're gonna have to see what Johnny Depp says. See what Johnny Depp and the cast members from that, and what the original cast say. It's a Timothée Chalamet. I'm not gonna dog any actors. This was not a terrible movie. I give it a 5 out of 10. Alright, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. We're at 54 subscribers. Thank you so much. The Terrifier 2 video reaction to the Terrifier 3 trailer reaction has over 1,000 views now. Thank you. Thank you for the 54 subscribers. Thank you for all that you guys and girls do for me. Because this channel could be nothing without your comments, your likes, your views mainly, and most importantly, your subscriptions. It cannot be nothing like it is. So I want to give you a sincerest thank you. Alright, everyone, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Go out and check Wonka out in the theaters, or watch it. And when it gets on DVD, I'd recommend going to the theater to see it. Alright, once again, thanks for watching. Please like this video. Please share this video. Please leave a comment on this video. And most importantly, please subscribe to this channel. Alright, everyone, thank you for watching. And remember, you can always live in a world of pure imagination. Bye.